and being one of these kids out here who are introducing themselves to the sport?
Yeah, honestly, as long as I can remember, like, I loved being around the game of basketball. I remember I had an older brother, so I always wanted to do what he did, and he played basketball, so I would always ask my dad if I could go to his basketball practices. I grew up in Des Moines, so Drake University is like the school there, so those are the games that I always went to growing up. I remember going on like their kids' games. I would go to them, but yeah, like as long as I can remember, honestly, like I just love being around the game.
Caitlin, I wonder with Christie, I mean, early in the season, she took so much grief every time you guys lost. Now the train is back on the tracks. What are some of the things that she has done to help get things turned around here in Indiana? Yeah,
I think the thing that she really prides herself in is our culture. She's great at building a team that, you know, every single person is valued. You know, we're going to support one another through everything. And she's been able to stay positive. Obviously, it was a tough start to the year, going 1-8. For everybody, not just her. Like it's, you know, that can be deflating for the whole organization, especially with the schedule that we were playing at the time. But I think everybody just continued to believe. We got better. She pushed us to get better every single day. She brought the same energy to practice every single day when maybe that could be hard at times. But I think she always had confidence in us, and we always had confidence in her. And now we're starting to get things rolling a little bit better. But I think it's just continuing to get better every single game. You know. You can't beat the Liberty and then come out here and take a step backwards. Like this is a very important game for us to continue to build on.
Kyle.
Christie talked about like how you guys have turned it around. A big part of it has to do with chemistry. I know yesterday you talked about kind of how your friendship with a lot of people on the team has grown. How do you feel like you have grown into being a member of the team and kind of the larger family aspect, if you will?
Yeah, I think it just like takes time to get to know people. Like that's just how it is, whether you're starting a new job, whether, you know, it's me here joining this organization, like that's just what it's going to take. It's just going to take time to build those relationships. And that's usually one of the most important things about being on a team is having relationships with your teammates and knowing that you can trust them and knowing that you're always going to have their back no matter what. And everything, you know, comes from a positive place, especially when you're in the heat of battle. I think that's really important. So I think just time of, you know, getting to know one another better has been the most important thing for us.
And then obviously, I don't know if you saw it, but there's been some clips going around of like DT kind of giving you your flowers and other veterans around the league doing that. Have you had conversations with those veterans around the league, or just hearing that, even if you haven't had conversations, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I think, you know, every time I go step on the court, like they've always been very positive, and like before the game, you shake hands or they give me a hug and welcome me to the league. And I think they've just been very positive and supportive in that way, and you know that's awesome as a rookie to be able to have that.
Go Zion, then Kareem.
Caitlin, with it being a camp day, you know, all the kids are going to be here. Just what has it been like, even leading up to this day? All the kids you've seen in the games and all the interactions you've had with those younger fans of the game.
Yeah, it's a fun day. Obviously, it's an early tip on a Wednesday. It's kind of weird, but it makes for a special memory for them. Like this is, you know, hopefully something that they can remember for the rest of their lives, whether they love basketball or not. It's something that they get to share with their friends. And get to do something that maybe they don't usually get to do. Like I think that's a really fun and cool opportunity. So I know if I was a young kid and we got to do this in the middle of summer, I would be pretty ecstatic. So it'll be fun for not only them but us too.
Go Kareem, then we'll go back in the front row to Mike.
Okay, quick one on Washington. As you prepare for them, as particularly defensively, what kind of stood out to you about what they do, and what did you learn from the way they kind of approached you last game?
Yeah, I think they're very improved. This isn't a team that like you can take lightly. Like they're really good in what they do, and obviously they've kind of had the injury bug, which, you know, they haven't used as an excuse, but they've still shown up and been really good every single time they've taken the floor. But I think it's their physicality, and I think also they're going to throw multiple different defenders at me. I think that's what they've done in the prior two matchups. Like I haven't just seen one person the entire game. They're going to rotate people onto me. So I think that's going to be probably the biggest thing, is like knowing what each defender is going to try to take away and then trying to execute from there.
Last two to finish up, Mike and Tony.
Hi, Gabe. I'm kind of late to the party here, so I apologize if this has been asked 100 times already, but when did you sign your first autograph? And does that ever get tiring?
It never gets tiring. I don't think that's anything that you ever take for granted. I think like the first autograph I signed that somebody like actually wanted my autograph, not me practicing my autograph, was like in high school, probably a couple in high school. But then in college, that's probably when it started to actually like pick up.
Last one, Tony.
Rookies always talk about, the players being bigger, the speed of the game being faster when it gets to the pros. I'm curious for you how that adjustment has looked and specifically what you thought of your defensive progress within all that this season.
Yeah, I think definitely the physicality. Sometimes I get a little bodied in there and there's not much you can do because they're just bigger than me. So I think just trying to hold my ground as much as I can. I think defensive schemes are different than they are in college, so that's just kind of a learning curve for myself. But I feel like I've improved a good amount. It's just breaking little habits that I had in college that like just aren't similar to what you do in the WNBA. So I think it's just the little habit things, but definitely seeing some growth, but still a lot of areas to grow. And that's something I go back and watch the most after games, honestly, is the defensive side of the ball and where I can get better.
Kids make a lot of signs for you. Do you have the most memorable sign you've ever seen somebody make?
Gosh, most memorable sign. That's tough.
There's the Canada one when we were in.
Yeah, the signs were like they're really from like really far places. I think those are cool. Like seeing how far people travel to come in and support our team is really special.
Way to go, Tony.